Ever since Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in 2002, fans have been non-stop glazing the secret ending that featured a blindfolded Riku and a mysterious blonde-haired boy clashing with a horde of Neo Shadows and then with each other. Fast forward to the year 2009, and we were finally allowed to see the events of this fight and play them out with the full context. On day 358 of Roxas' initial short and somewhat bittersweet existence, he dons his hood to hide his face in order to maximize his edgy overlord aura, and as several Neo Shadows spawn from the streets of the world that never was, he draws two Keyblades, one belonging to his friend whom he is slowly forgetting as time passes. For this segment of the mission, you can wield two Keyblades for the very first time in the story, and the devs made sure you felt like an absolute badass when you did, turning up the damage dial to the maximum so that you're basically one-shotting every Neo Shadow you come across on your way to the memory skyscraper in order to really capture that feeling that the cinematic ending gave us all those years ago. It might just be my own interpretation of things, but I like how this segment almost mirrors Mission 91 when Roxas is trying to escape the castle with its pure white halls while being pursued by nobodies that share a similar aesthetic, and then finally being stopped by Saïx as a sort of final barrier. It works really well in contrast to the very dark and brooding streets of the world that never was, and the Neo Shadows that spring up from them to match with Roxas fighting to get back into the castle he just escaped from and being blocked by Riku. And speaking of Riku, after finally cutting down the last of the Neo Shadows, the Kingdom Hearts 2 version of the iconic scene plays out and the battle with him officially begins. 90% of the time, Riku starts off the fight with his signature turning and running away move. But when he's not doing that, he's performing a sort of bait and switch and throwing everything he has at the player with misdirection and quick physical strikes that come out with little to no warning. His basic combo is a quick twirling strike, followed by two consecutive swings of his now stolen Oblivion Keyblade. This attack can be blocked at any point during the combo, and with the correct timing of a successful block, you can even knock him off balance for a brief moment and get in a few hits of your own. One of Riku's most iconic attacks that he's gained mastery over since Chain of Memories is Dark Faraga, and he loves to use it when he's put enough distance between you two. Dark Faraga moves nothing like the Faraga that we know in this game, shooting straight out in a heat-seeking motion towards Roxas, more like the standard fire spell does in Days, but with a lot more punch. This attack can also be easily blocked with the proper timing, but it can also be a little bit wonky. If you need any further context, just look at this clip. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Did you see that? He pushed me into the Faraga! Somehow, Riku also picked up the Reflect spell that we can also see him use in Kingdom Hearts 2 as a command for protecting Sora during their fight with Xemnas. He will mostly only use it when being attacked head-on from the front, and if you happen to attack him again right after his block, he will make a retaliating blow followed by his little taunt.
Keep trying!
But you can also play it smart and move behind him to get more hits by bypassing his little shield. I like that they gave him this defensive move because otherwise you would spend a lot more of your time just chasing him around. When you get him down to around his 5th or 6th HP bar, sometimes earlier, he will enter a sort of berserk-like state and his Keyblade will be replaced by a permanent glowing blade that's almost like Roxas' Limit Break while saying,
"Just try to keep up!"
This blade powers up all of his other attacks that we have mentioned so far, just enough to make them seem more threatening, and unlike Saïx, you cannot knock him out of this form. You can no longer stagger him out of his basic combo, and it feels like his Dark Faraga hits just a little bit harder, but don't quote me on that part. When he says,
"Hope you're fast!"
Riku will trigger his Dark Aura attack that we've seen him use since his appearance in Kingdom Hearts 1. It sees him point his blade towards the sky before rushing with it pointed straight forward, teleporting around multiple times while he does, before bringing his Keyblade down for another larger strike into the ground below him, and saying,
"Sloppy!"
in the most taunting way. He has another Dark Aura attack where he skips straight to the teleporting and striking straight down 3 times, but both versions are really easy to dodge by just gliding around in circles.
It's over!
Something I really like about Riku's fight here is that he's canonically teasing Roxas while knowing full well that Sora's heart can hear him. He's almost having fun crossing swords with his old friend again, even if the feeling isn't mutual and this is still Roxas that he's fighting. Of course, like Saïx, Riku has an anti-form version that can only be fought in mission mode. His HP is increased by 2 bars and his attack patterns are a lot more ferocious, but other than being a slightly tougher version of himself, he's not too much different. And yeah, that's basically Riku's boss fight in Days. If you want my opinion, Roxas did beat Riku here and was telling the truth when he told Sora that he defeated Riku once. If he hadn't summoned up his Ansem persona at the end, he would have been toast. But anyway, this concludes my trilogy of the 3 final boss fight breakdowns. I have just one more of these in me, and as promised, it will be a mega compilation showcasing all of the Disney World final bosses in the game, so stay tuned. I've been Key, and I will see you all next time. Peace.